right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome you to Youth Arena, brought to you by Edo Broadcasting Service. My name is Dorcas Osatale Eni. I am a member Give the Child Initiative. And this afternoon, again, another Saturday, we're talking about strike. That's what's up. That's what is on now for our students, all right? We'll be talking about strike and the the effects on its students. What has it caused on the students? So, as usual, I'm not here alone in the studio. I have two handsome gentlemen by my side and a beautiful lady, embodiment of words. All right. Okay. So they'll be introducing themselves. Let's start with you to my right.
Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Paul Musa Mwekbere.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Idahosa.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Obinna Ezechukwu.
All right. Welcome you guys to the studio. I'm so glad to have you here this afternoon. Talk about strike and what's up with our students. What's going on? Why am I making it sound like a sports edition? All right. So what's going on with our students? How are our students coping? Have you met them? Are you one of them? And all of that. That's what we are going to be talking about this afternoon. All right. Okay. So a few weeks ago, when this strike started with a warning strike, which was supposedly 4 weeks, but now they said it's a roll-in strike or rolling strike, roll-in, whatever. So now we talked about strike and all that surmounted to the strike. What happened? What gingered or what spiked up the strike and all of that. So today we're talking about the fate of students. We're concerned about our students. We have them around us and we want to know what is their fate. All right, so I'll be going quickly with, you tell us briefly the concept of the strike, of the whole strike thing, Mr. Paul. Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, viewers again. This back to 2009. The ASUU body had an interface with the federal government, talking about some series of demands that were summed up into 8 demands. So in summary, there was something about revitalization fund to be injected into the educational sector. There was a particular thing somebody end so that they will call the attention of the government to have commitment towards those other areas. Another things have to bordered on improvement of our university system and so many others. But I think that it has been lingered because the federal government per se, according to us, have not really been committed to the agreements they have, to the various MOUs they signed in 2009, the later 22, memorandum of understanding, memorandum of actions. Nothing has really been forthcoming as they envisaged. So that's the summary of the entire call for. And likewise, the payment system, altars, and PPX. So those things, that's what they are still calling for, that the government should answer them. So since they've not received it, the strike continues. One is strike for one is strike. Strike continues.
How long can we continue to warn when going down history it's been lingering and it's not even just starting now? All right, okay. So what is the effect of the strike on students' fate?
Okay, the effect of the strike on students, it has a whole lot of effect. In fact, just imagine having to be at home, like you have to be at home without having a proper plan. And so I'll bring a case of when I was in school in my 200 level, and we were told that the strike would just be for 1 week, and it was already close to exam. We were actually praying for exam, so we're waiting for the 1 week strike to end. And they postponed. That was how the strike became 6 months. In fact, so just imagine students preparing for exam. How we didn't know if to go and work, if we don't know what to do at that time, because we were not sure when they would call off the strike. The thing kind of destabilized us at that moment because we did not prepare for it. A lot of us did not have plan. We didn't know where to start from and all of that. So by the time we came back to school, we were tired. So just imagine that kind of scenario. So the strike has a lot of negative effect on students in the sense that it affects their vibes. Like when they come back to school, that vibe is not there. They just want to be done. And at that time, we're already like, can we just join final year and write exam and just leave school system? Like we're already tired. And the way it can even expose people to crime, because that period it's open, and imagine you don't know what to do at that stage. Your mind is idle. You may just want to get involved in one or two things, and it has a lot of effect. And they will also tell you that even if you want to go and look for work or something, in fact you spend so much too at that point, and a whole lot of things that it's not really so, it's not really, it doesn't really help anybody.
All right, yeah, so thank you so much. That's one effect on students as regards this strike. All right, can we hear from you the effect? You're a student, right? So what effect is it having on you right now? How do you feel?
Okay, thank you very much. She talked about an issue of there is a issue of disbalance. You've left the school and then you're coming back. Someday you've left for a long while. Your mental capacity is no longer functional as it is. And this strike of a thing is that you're uncertain. You're uncertain. For example, okay, you give a 1 week one strike. Okay, let's look at it. After 1 week, I'll go back. And they don't know, and then you come back and say, oh, we are extending. And again, we are extending. Before you know, it spans over a long period of time. And even if you are to make use of that period of time, you don't know, because there is no plan at all. You don't know when the strike will be called on. Will be called off. So, for example, now they said they're going to have a 1 week chance, one strike. I don't know. Okay, decided, let me wait 1 week. It's just 1 week, and then I'm going to stay around. I will save myself the cost of transport to and from. So, based on that, at the end of the day, it began to elapse, and then okay, we are adding 2 weeks again, and it's just 2 weeks. Let me stay. We are so you are not just sure. You don't know when to call it
Just
off.
waste your time.
So at the end of the day, even students that need, for example, for those that see that the students should utilize the period, they cannot even plan properly, because even they are not certain of the whole event or the scenario when it will be called off, or if it will linger on.
Exactly.
I get it. Now some parents will look at it and see that, oh, from the history from past time, it lingers on. Okay, since let me embark on a long-term project, and at the end of the day, you embark on a long-term project, they call it off. Then you have to leave your long-term project, and then you shift again. There's this balance. You're not focused, and then there's the other part of like you said. At the end of the day, the strike, lecturers will collect their salary, the government will collect their pay. What is in for the students? Can you give me back the years I've wasted?
Years.
Because NYC will not
Exactly.
list whether there's a strike. Are you getting?
Yeah.
If you are above 30 years, go and rest. Are you getting? So at the end of the day, you are denied of the opportunity for national integration, to go outside, to explore, to see things. Are you getting? That falls within the line of the government or the state for nation building. We have already missed out on that part, because the years I've lost because of ASUU strike, I cannot get it back. There are some jobs at the end of the day that there's some firms that need to employ you, but if you are not within this certain amount of age, there's the same person that will give you that you have to be 25 years of age, you have to be 24, you have to be 26 with 1-2 years experience. At the end of the day, how do you get this when you have spent your life wasting it while you are in school? So all these things, because there are some firms that will not actually employ you, no matter how brilliant you are, if you don't have a certificate to show for it. So all these things are one of the consequences that we see that affect students. And finally, the issue of rents. For example, I'm paying my rent, and I think that's going to be my last rent. And then because of ASUU strike, ASUU is having another plan for me, and I have to pay another rent when I'm thinking, oh, this is my last rent, I'm my final year. Of course, there's no need to pay another rent. And because I struggle to actually pay that rent, if you look at Nigeria that we are into today, that the cost of living is on the high. The cost of housing is going, is in a galloping rate. Full stuff, it's just so on the high. At the end of the day, what I've budgeted I'm going to spend for this amount of time to study, at the end of the day, I'll still have to keep depending on my parents, or in a way to meet all this ends meet, and it's not normal. You begin to become so old because you want to do a BSc course. You start looking like a married person. It's not proper. There are a lot of effects, and we cannot continue to cope with it. The effect to me, if you ask me, the effect of the strike on students is totally negative.
Negative.
Yes,
It's
completely.
negative.
100%.
Some parents will come with the argument and tell you that, and we're also fighting for you now. The last time ASUU met, there were two things on their table for demand: the working condition of their workers.
Yes.
To know whether they're going to roll over the strike, and then the IPPI's utter stuff. Now, where is the place for the students?
Exactly.
Not
But yet, you still collect your salary if you. I get it. We understand what they are demanding is reasonable and is just. But at the end of the day, we are students. We have to look for ourselves. ASUU is looking for their interests. We also have to look for our interests, and to a long time, is not really showing something positive on with the students.
yes.
All right, yeah. So thank you so much. I feel your pain. Yeah, I feel
It's painful, actually.
and I feel the pain of every Nigerian student out there. I cannot imagine.
Can
I
they
can-
just
you know,
be compensation for students?
for
Like when they come
students.
back, there should be
I wanted that's
compensation.
the next question. All right, that brings me to asking now we see that the students are on the receiving end, and this receiving end is not a good kind of receiving. You know, so what do you think now should be done to students? How can we compensate them? Yeah, you're talking about.
Give us money.
Compensation. No,
okay, should they say-
like fine compensation for students. Okay, can't maybe when they come, federal government like, okay, fine, you're supposed to pay this amount of school fees. Can we discount it for them for the time they've wasted?
That's it, yeah.
Yes, when they come back to hostel, can they have a better maybe environment? Can school just maybe give all of them lunch? You know, at least calm them down. But anyway, that's a joke though.
Alright,
But I feel in a way they should even at least appreciate students for the time wasted. But nobody said that.
They don't. So
Nobody said that to
they're actually
students.
after their self.
To at least to say, oh, we are very sorry as students. For nobody tells students sorry.
And they make some insensitive statements. There was a time one of the professors of ASUU was saying something, said that that why we even bother, that the education is not even for we to get employment. It's for we to become employers. But yet you're under unemployment.
Exactly.
Since you don't like the working condition, why not resign and go and be an employer? of
Everybody
labor?
should become entrepreneur.
So, anyway, there is also the issue of compensation, like you said, on that compensation. I think to an extent, in this period of strike too, the government should intensify, if at least don't ensure that the students are not idle. Because an idle man, like they said, is the devil's workshop. A lot of things can come in at that period of time. The government should say as a scheme to train people, you have to develop them, or even to take them into the production sector. At least let's utilize this period that we are somehow useless. Let me not be somehow useless, because is that
going to volunteerism as well.
yeah, volunteerism,
Yes.
community organizing
Exactly.
capacity, all these stuff. Are you getting?
And then okay,
Yeah.
there's this work and study that normally goes on inside school and all of that. I feel that during strike period like this, they can reinforce it, like, because when we talked about students, if you actually want to work and you go and apply, though, when you tell them you are a student, nobody wants to employ you because they don't want to. They know that you are going to stay short term. So why can't there be a program like this time that they're on strike? Say once strike is activated, students are engaged. Like students are no, I feel it's possible. Just the way core members, Empower are engaged. You get it. So there could be a program like that for undergraduates. Like you could find yourself into the scheme when things like that comes up, so that you can be useful and be learning something. It's true. At least intern with organization where you can get stipends for the period of the strike. That's compensation.
Literally, it makes sense. It makes sense. But the fact that we must not forget the nation factor we're in, the character of the nation matters. It's a complex whole. There are many things they are trying to solve. They've not solved them. They're bringing on that thing. They will tell you this other thing. We're trying to mop up funds on this because this thing will also be cost effective and otherwise. So they will tell you their mind is not even there. It's the gospel truth. So let's be very, very realistic. The nature of any state matters. That's where things can work. Things that tend to make logical sense ordinarily within certain kind of even base rent. But the fact is, if the character of a nation is not potent enough to carry it, it will never see the light of day. Sincerely speaking, Nigeria needs an overhauling of our system. Sincerely speaking, so that everything will work. And likewise, the character of the average Nigeria also coming into play. Because if things are happening, we're not considering certain kind of factors. Those things will remain. How do you not prosecute that which we expect? Now you're talking about, okay, ASUU, the federal government, the students, the future leaders of tomorrow that I've been hearing since years back, and tomorrow has come and continue to come.
We are stuck at
Is that precious subset of the nation, the youth, and how are we treating them? Federal government gets paid. ASUU gets paid, as you said. The person that we expect to mount the office tomorrow is at the lowest ebb. What do we now do? What can we now say about tomorrow? How hard is it going to be since you're already treating the people like this? So no matter their approach, no matter their what you call it, their desire, their objective, their approach matters. The core aspects are not in any way. We're talking about doctors go on strike. Soldiers go on strike.
How does it look like?
How does it look like? and some other principal agencies go on strike, how would it look like? There are certain things we should not even just touch. Then creatively, 14 billion brain cells is no joke. To say how we can have a strategic response to deal with issues. Now they are striking students in the house. We're talking about security of the nation. What would you expect when everybody begin to do other things?
All right, this brings me to the question. Now, it's not enough for us to come here, lament, talk. It's easy to say, all right? So are there alternative measures to this strike now? In just saying, okay, let there be no strike, what alternative measures do you think these people could come up with
That can work in Nigeria.
that can work for us right now?
And they should see, let's to be frank with ourselves, like we said, the strike didn't start today, it has been on for a long time,
Yes.
and it is still the same issues that we're still discussing.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves that to what extent is the strike actually being effective to solve the problem?
Because it looks as though we are going on strike break.
We are just exactly
come back.
because the ASUU
Exactly.
chairman in the last time they were on in Univern when we talked with him, he said they didn't call off the one of 2010 that lasted for 9 months. He said
Yes.
they've only resumed what they suspended at that time.
Yes.
So at that, the same issues that were communicated for a long time is still the same issue we're talking about. So technically, like we said, the demands are reasonable, they are justifiable. But at the end of the day, we look at the consequence of the actions we embark upon. Like I said, imagine the police going on strike. Imagine health workers going on strike. Imagine transport workers going on strike. Imagine the banking sector going on strike. We know the consequences that these things are going to have effect on society. There are some things that are so sensitive that we should not even think, although yes, we know that this program is in place.
Yes.
The solutions will be gradual. As government begin to grow, begin to mature, some of these things is something that ordinarily will be sight into them that you don't need to even force them to protest or even strike before they begin to do these things.
Exactly.
So definitely, yes, we are not where we ought to be, but we know where we are going to, and there's no way. So we can, whether we like it or not, change is constant. We cannot forever remain in the same position. But we definitely improve. We definitely grow, and that is why it all boils down to everybody as a person, as individuals, of members of society that will know that you have progressive mindsets. So I keep telling you don't need to shy away from politics. If you know that you have the idea, you have the means of bringing about development in society, why do you have to shy yourself away from politics? Engage yourself. Register to vote. If you can start with that, register to vote. Engage yourself. If you can contest an election. We know that yes, there are challenges, but at least the people that are doing it don't have to wait.
Sure.
Are you getting? So let's begin to engage ourselves from the grassroots level to ensure that we begin to bring these innovative ideas on how to develop our country. It's not going to be a one-man affair. It's going to be a collective affair. If you're going to develop this country, if every sector is going to work to the maximum and maximally the way they ought to work, if the policing system are going to work the way they ought to be, that is the welfare of the police, if they will be properly taken care of. If the health sector, the health workers, their welfare should be properly taken care of with necessary equipment. The transport workers, their roads are functioning properly and they are not too taxed. Are you getting? Yeah. So all these things are essential, but at the end of the day, we have to look at the consequence. Like we said, police, doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, drivers. Are you getting going on strike? Look at the consequence. So we have to strike to me. Strike is not really an option that we should be looking at, because at the end of the day, we have been trying it for a long time.
It's not working.
There's no hope that is going to end.
Exactly.
So we have to look at the bigger picture here and the consequence. So to me, if you ask me, I'll tell you, strike is not an option in the first place. It's not an option.
So what's your own alternative measure?
My own alternative measure, like I've always said, it hinges back to government. Whether we like it or not, we still have to take it back to the government, that the government is the one better positioned to carry out. Who are they striking against? Are they striking against with the students? Striking against the government to do these things.
That's it. At the end of
So at the end of the day, it's still the government that needs to do them.
Exactly.
So, government, please, consider with the students. It's not fun on our own side, and it is not fun. It is not fun. Yes, some people say you can earn a skill during that period. Why, as I'm studying, why can't I also
Learn a skill too.
learn a skill as I'm studying? Why should we? At least, why can't I multitask?
Yeah.
I get it. So, like I said, strike is not really an option. The way forward is for we to progress. If you have set our mind to something that this is a period I need to do it, please let me do it within that period.
All right, yeah, thank you very much. Faith, what do you think, in your own opinion, could be an alternative measure to strike?
Okay, I think I've thought about this thing before. Because at a point I was like, if this strategy is not working, why do they keep
Why you
striking?
don't? Okay.
Then someone asked me, what should they now do? So, because when you keep on bringing something and the person is not doing anything, then what is the order? Because I believe before they come up with the option that they want to go on strike, they have actually been talking. They've been, and no, the government is not, and we are saying take it back to the government. So what do you want to do when they keep taking it back to the government and the government is not doing anything? Now, when he was talking, I was thinking, I was like, is there a role that we youths can
For
play?
students. Yeah.
Outside, is it, because if we look at it very well, at a
Yeah,
point, sometimes I actually feel it's like it's ASUU cross. If it's something that, if we can relate with what ASUU they are fighting for, then we can also connect. Maybe we can look at it and say, okay, is this just ASUU cross or is it our cross? So if we look at, so maybe we should look at it that way. I guess maybe we can get more involved and we can add our voices if it's our cross.
All right, let's hold on with that. Let's digest that one. Okay, let's get to you, Paul. What do you think are the alternative measures we could come up with against this
I
strike?
think that's a very critical question. Let's assume that students on their own now, you decide to say we are striking against ASUU, striking against federal government. They say come back to school, we are not going to school. Until both of you will not come to that point whereby I want to do
And
things
without
the way it should
students,
be.
they won't be.
It won't work.
There won't be
That's what I'm saying, that if we get involved, if the students decide, okay, this is our cross, because this is education system,
Exactly.
and the youth like, okay, don't you think we can, because look at the previous one, where the youth, we understood what happened when the youth decide to speak with one voice. So what do you think can happen when youth come together and say, this thing consign us,
Exactly.
this is our country, let us make progress? And I said, for education, we want to raise our voice for education. So we don't leave it like it's ASUU cross. That is, if we have seen it, that it consigns us.
And
Because
I think
the real-
we, the students, should be, there are some things we should be very, let me not say the students, the young population, and even parents, the public, should be considered. There was a bill that this Asian federal legislator introduced to the
Yes,
House,
I know.
that public office holders should start sending their children to use the public facilities.
Yes.
At least with that, they will take it serious and know that it is not something to be left with I don't care attitude. So I think we can come in here, like just like the women went together and said that you cannot just strike out the bill that said that women inclusiveness.
Sure.
I think we, the students, will also take that serious as a matter of fact in whatever we choose to, in any way, to push, to pressure them into a saying that they bring back that bill and they accept it, to start sending their children to public schools. Because at least when I'm in a school with the president, son like that, the president will not, of course, now they will not,
That's right.
at least, even though apart from the duty of government as a parent, there are some certain things that instinctively come upon you. I get that you want to put your child in a better condition. So, and it's even stronger than that of government.
Sure.
The bond of a parent, the instinct of a parent is even stronger. So, I think that's something that we
Just
can
to
do
add,
on our own part to
the
push.
fact is,
That to
it's
ensure
not
that
called patriotism. We're not really patriotic here per se. In Nigeria, currently speaking, it's more of there's a selfish spiral. Not really. We don't have this communal object in our day-to-day living, which is very, very, very fortunate for us. Very important. It's not about state fragility, so speaking. If everything begins to work structurally, we won't be having these issues. Structurally from the base, we won't be having these issues at all from the base, no matter what you want to do. Then when something is going on, then you have this everybody's concern, a national issue. So people now don't bother now. Some of their children are in private schools, so they don't
care,
bother,
yeah.
don't care. Having this national outlook. There are persons in Europe and America will see people tell you, I don't want to receive my salary because in form of protest. If I don't want to do this form of protest, government, what's really happening? Also, what's really happening? Okay, come to a compromise. What do we do? What's the strategy? And there's a monitoring outlook towards those things to ensure those things works. The people, until we become enlightened and ready, very, very proactive, not protective what we're having now, very, very proactive and conscious. You call ASUU to order, you call federal government to order. How best can we solve this issue? Let's solve it. Okay, what are your promises, ASUU, federal government? Okay, step by step, let's begin to work.
There should be a consequence if they go on strike, or if federal
Thank
government
you.
fails to do it. The truth, because if the students are facing consequences, the others should also face.
Everybody
Because
should face
then
it.
everybody will take it seriously.
Sure.
So
Because it's not like you're enjoying
I think students should now speak with one voice.
So okay, sorry, let me ask now, what do you think, before we round up, because we don't have the leisure of time, okay, right? So what do you think should be the way out? Yes, Faith. The way out of this.
The number one way out, government should heed to ASUU demands and let us resume. That's the number one way out. Government should it to ASUU and let us resolve.
And areas, objective, we also has to still understand them, let them understand them. But they will have something already set in place.
Yes,
We will
but
coming up
meanwhile,
step by
while
step.
we're talking about government, also government, we've already said that students should now know their own role.
Yeah.
Let us speak it like this thing concern me, not just leave it for us to say anything they want to do. You put listen to them, listen to them. Everybody go and sit down in your room. It keeps on, the routine keeps on. But while this is going on, every student out there should also know that if you succeed in life, you're the one to be praised. If you fail, you're still the one to be shamed or blamed. Yes. So no matter what happened, don't leave your destiny in the hands of the federal government or ASUU. So you have to find a way to actually make progress for your own life. So now that the strike is on, learn a skill, do something, search for opportunities for yourself, find a way. Because when tomorrow now you cannot be telling your children that it's federal government that made me to fail, or it's ASUU that was causing it. That's not the news. So whatever it is right now, while you're looking at federal government, please sort out your own self.
All right, yeah. So we would wrap up with that students out there and every one of us, let's put measures around in the society and yourself. Try and equip yourself, because when this whole thing is out of the question, is out of place, or is out of the whole scenario, what would you come out and say? You have no excuses to give. Nobody wants to hear your tales of woes. All right, so we have come to the end of today's discussion. All right, I would like to thank Edo Broadcasting Service for giving youths this platform and this opportunity to talk about matters that affect them. Also to our general manager on EBS, our interim general manager, Mrs. Quinette Orobedo. Thank you so much, Ma, for this opportunity. To the programs, to the Minister of Programs here on TV, Mrs. Franca Ayewo. Thank you so much, Ma, for this opportunity. To you, my guest speakers, thank you so much for coming this afternoon. All right, yes, to you viewers and to you parents, mothers, fathers, and students out there. All right, there's strike in education or in school sector, informal education. Please use yourself, don't go on strike. All right, yeah, we'll meet here again, same time next Saturday. So for contributions and sponsorship, you can call us on 0810 01585816. You can also follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram on Youth Arena. My name again is Dorcas Eni. Stay safe and bye for now.